Oh, you're already here. Hello. I return in peace and let's get to the game. Today I'm a bit more purple than I was before. Not sure if this is a good change. Maybe I'll be a little bit different color next time too. Anyway, where were we last time? Oh, we had this client, Dr. Train, age 430. Yeah, and this is Dr. Kam, I guess. There are some notes about what happened, and there are all these different what should they be called? Mental distortions? Cognitive distortions. Funny ways we think. Nosferatu thinking. Control fallacy, labeling, should statements. Disqualifying the positive. We will definitely need to get some reminders about those along the way. How are you doing, Guy? Today I finally sent the application for the neuroscience program, and boy did that require a lot of paperwork stuff. And I still don't think I will get in, but that's done. I tried. But what's here? I think Andromachus is congratulating us for dealing with the patient. Thank you for believing in me.
Well, that was a hell of a rush. That fella's holding on tighter than a holster to a gunslinger's hip.
Andromachus. I think he was fine if we called him Andy.
It felt real good to help him look at himself a little more kindly.
Good, Samuel. Treasure this feeling. But also rest. Go downstairs, get something to drink, relax in your coffin. Next week you shall see a new client. I think they will be an interesting challenge for you.
Yes, it's the horny vampires. The horny vampire that is. How do you do, Imp?
I bid you good evening, Samuel. Rest in peace.
You too, Andy. Well, I guess it's time I got me some grub.
I sent my application for the neuroscience program today. It was... but it's done. Now I can just wait for the results. I don't have much hope, but I did it. That's something. Thank you.
Well, that's it, I guess. My first client. Can't believe I'm doing this therapy stuff already.
Oh yeah, what was this location where this was happening? We are in... I made it to Andy's club in Leipzig. Yes. I made a ton of programs fixing up my new house. You have already been working on it. Is it starting to Look any good yet?
Sure could use a drink. I'll check in with Crimson.
Crimson
Well,
depart
isn't
and
Yosemite Sam. How you doing tonight, partner?
progress is progress.
Better already, hearing from someone from the States who knows the lingo.
It looks better than it started. That's great. It will look good eventually, I'm sure.
I'm not from any states, cowpoke. District of Columbia girl here.
I figured you must have been coastal. You sound a little more polished than I do.
You should hear my German.
Oh, maybe some other time. My brain's full tonight. I had my first therapy session with a real client.
Oh yeah? How do you think it went?
It was great.
I reckon it was a bullseye on my end. You should have seen me. Lakeland, blam! Disqualifying the positive, kapow!
I'm glad to hear it. Someone has got to sort these vamps out. They know how to hold on to their problems.
Vampires have a lot of
Living or
problems.
dead, once people hit 70, they get pretty dang set in their ways.
You know Andy still uses a typewriter? I can't get that gorgeous man to see the light. Keep it up, cowboy. You're a breath of fresh air for these ancient ones.
Anyone ever tell you you're wise beyond your years, Crimson? You must have had some life.
Afraid I'm exactly as wise as my years. How old do you think I am, cowboy?
No! Hey, how old do you think Crimson is? 25? 30? 35? 5. That's not an option. I don't know, she could be anything. 35. Let's guess that.
Mid-30s, maybe?
Shot me right in the heart, cowboy.
Dang, what I meant to say was...
I'm just messing with you. I'm 50 years young.
50! 50!
50? I died around that age and I looked like shit. But you ain't a vampire.
Like I told you, I'm Andy's blood partner. He shares his blood with me too, just not enough to turn me into one of you.
She's 50!
I've been 30 for a good while now.
But you ain't joining our team? Sounds like a story.
Not for tonight, buckaroo. I bet you're thirsty after a big night.
How old are you, Didul? 70?
Andy told me to give this to you.
Oh yeah? What is it?
Looks like blood.
We had a group of Americans come in last week who donated their blood.
532. I see. That's a good age for a vampire.
Andy can't stand the stuff. He says the blood glucose levels are too high, but he thought you'd appreciate it.
Burn. Just not old enough to retire. Maybe you're living in the future. It seems the age of retirement is getting higher and higher. But I would have thought over 500-year-olds would be retired. Maybe not in the future.
Oh, it ain't so bad. I gotta ask though, what does Andy's blood taste like?
What does And this blood tastes like with that face. So eager to taste that Andromachos.
To me, it tastes like life itself, cowboy.
Union.
I ain't sure I understand.
Never you mind. Look, Tex, I've got some customers to serve, so go enjoy your juice, okay?
Oh, of course. I'm keen to get some rest anyway. You have yourself a fine night, Crimson.
So Sam got some American blood with high
There he is,
glucose
my incredible
levels.
protege.
Incredible protege.
Come on now, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Evidence stands against that reasoning, my friend. Do we need to talk about disqualifying the positive again?
All right, I get it. I guess I've been muddling through okay.
You've been doing wonderfully. I hope you are ready for a bit of a challenge tonight.
Oh no, a challenge. We are never ready.
Your next client has been known to be somewhat difficult. Here, look at her intake form.
Isabella Deste. Dang, she's got some funny tasting hats.
Hats? 550. Female. Origin. Renaissance. Brat. Isabella d'Este was a key figure in the Italian Renaissance, funding the works of Leonardo da Vinci, Andrea Mantegna and Michelangelo. She received a humanist education and knows much about history, art, music and philosophy. She comes from a highly aristocratic background, but has endured considerable family issues through the generations. She states that she is undergoing an existential immortality crisis, suggesting that her afterlife and unlife have both been meaningless. Suggestion: be exceedingly polite. You might be right. Right, she sounds like a possible brat.
I think you should get along quite well then.
Walked right into that one.
Isabella is not your average vampire. She was once the powerful matriarch of one of the most influential families in Europe. She fraternized with popes and kings, and she also wielded great power over the art world. Some say that she was the model for the Mona Lisa.
One of them highfalutin types, huh? I don't think she's gonna like me much.
Highfalutin. What a weird word.
She is as human as any of us, Samuel. I already know you will find a way to relate with her.
If you say so.
Remember, you can always seek my advice if you feel lost. You are not alone.
I bet you do, guy. Every day, at least 5 times a day.
But I hear the beating of elegant wings. Breathe, Samuel.
Beating of elegant wings. Is she going to fly here as a bat too?
Oh, and do be polite.
Goodness. So you are the new therapist Andromachos told me of. I was not expecting someone so rugged.
If you say so. No, I'm not going to kill her. I'm just being rugged. That must give you a +5 charisma, not intelligence. Except it does look kind of like a brain hat.
Sam Walls at your service, ma'am.
You are a therapist.
Well, that's what I'm here for, ma'am.
Enough with this, ma'am. I am not running a whorehouse. You may call me senora.
All right, Signora.
All right, Senora.
You have seen my what? Have you been peeking under my skirts, young man?
Huh? What are you talking about, lady?
Signora. Say it.
Signora.
Signora.
Signora. Signora.
Signora?
Porca miseria, this is not going to be easy, is it?
Therapy ain't never easy, Senora.
Hey, he said it.
So, therapy is always easy then.
I said it ain't never easy, Senora.
Is therapy easy or is it not?
Not, I guess.
I totally relate to this weird lady.
Oh, how are we to examine my inner demons if your own speech is so diabolical?
You know what? Let's start over. Greetings and salutations, Senora. I am most honored to receive you in my humble office.
Very well. I suppose it will do.
I'm just here to help, Senora. It says here on your intake forms that you've been having a tough time lately.
A tough time. Indeed, yes, it has been a tough time. The realization that not only am I a corpse, but that I have been a useless corpse for nearly 400 years is a tough time.
Oh no, a useless corpse.
So what's it off this feeling that you're a corpse?
I saw a film at the cinema.
Hey, I love the cinema.
Why? No, an adult Italian woman would not have already assaulted you with a shoe at this point. Hey, she's a highborn lady. She wouldn't do that. She only assaults you with words. Even if she is Italian. Why do I feel all of these are wrong choices?
Well, not many of our kind are movie buffs. What are some of your favorite films?
I would hesitate to say favorite, but there are some films that are more acceptable than others. For instance, Beneath the Velvet Dusk or In Search of Sadness are engaging explorations of the mortal condition.
I've never heard of those.
Oh, I ain't heard of them. You ever seen The Three Stooges?
Utter vulgarity! I do not waste my time with such nonsense.
But she knows the Three Stooges and I don't know them.
Alas, these Stooges 3 would be preferable to the abomination I saw at the cinema that made me realize just how dead I am.
Just how dead you are.
It was a most terrible film, one that shook me to my core. The pain of it lingers with me still 5 years later.
Well, movies can be pretty powerful. Heck, I remember seeing one of the first films. There was a train coming right for the audience. We thought we were dead for sure.
This film was not powerful, it was meaningless. It said nothing, did nothing, less than nothing, as loudly and garishly as possible.
There was a horrible green ogre and a talking dog. Maybe.
audience, fools that they were, cheered, applauded this desecration of the mind.
Just tell us, what was the movie?
I hate this film with all my being, for it has done the cruelest thing. It has revealed the dark truth. This life that I cling to has no purpose.
Dang, what the heck was this movie?
Space Wars. Rise of the Spacewalker.
You wanna see people pretending they're enjoying an Activision Blizzard game? So, Isabella doesn't like Star Wars?
Well, wait a minute. Space Wars, the big science fiction franchise?
Yes, I believe it is important to understand modern media diets.
But that's the movie that gave you your personal crisis?
Mind your tone. Do not think me a fool. I know it was not high art. But the money it made, it would make even the Pope blush. This stinking trash. This is what the people want. You see, I understand now. My attempts to infuse art with meaning were pointless. All that I am, all that I ever was, is dead.
Such a complicated woman, the answers are overly simple for Signora d'Este, are they not, Samuel?
Really simple.
You see, I understand now. My attempts to infuse art with meaning were pointless. All that I am, all that I ever was, is dead.
Is that Nosferatu thinking? What is it? Not all media can feature cowboy vampire deals. Yeah, it's sad. Is it Nosferatu thinking? I guess it is.
You don't seem that dead to me. We're having this conversation, ain't we? Ain't just lying there decomposing.
It is no different. I might as well be rotting in the ground.
I think you might get pretty bored.
Are you getting smart with me, boy?
Look, I'm just talking facts. If you're saying all you are is dead, I think you might be doing some Nosferatu thinking. It ain't black and white. You're here. But let's go back to what you were saying.
Once, I elevated art, and all the world benefited. Why have I lost my power to elevate art now?
I don't know. Is it control fallacy? Or...
All the world benefited? There's a lot of people, and they got a lot of different preferences. You can't get them all, can you?
But I could, once upon a time.
You can't reach everybody, Signora. I hadn't even heard of the Mona Lisa until about 1911.
Did you have any schooling whatsoever?
No, I didn't. But I don't think anyone in my time knew about the Mona Lisa either.
Oh, how wonderful. You add to my despair.
I'm saying you can't reach everyone, even in your own time.
That is true. I doubt the rabble had much of an opinion about the so-called great masters.
We only know what we know. But you were saying.
It was all for nothing. What good was guiding Da Vinci when they sell the Mona Lisa on beer coasters?
Ask her to adopt you. I would do it for you if I could. All for nothing. What good was guiding Da Vinci? Is it
Come on now.
disqualifying
Just because the
the
Mona
positive?
Lisa's been on a coaster doesn't mean that's all it's ever been for.
Yes.
I think you might be downplaying just what an impact you've had on the world.
The world needs no help from me to reduce my life's efforts to cheap commodities.
So just because something gets printed on a t-shirt, that cancels out everything that's good about it?
Yes, that is exactly what it does.
Really? Hydrate. Oh, thank you. Hydration. Done.
And I thought I was good at disqualifying the positive.
It should not be so. Art should have meaning, purpose. Beauty should expose truth.
Should not be so. Art should have meaning, purpose. Beauty should expose truth. There are shoulds there, but there is should, but it's like in relation to the world, not what the person should do. So is it still a should statement? Well, there should.
You're saying art should have meaning and purpose, but does all art need those things?
What is the purpose of creation otherwise?
How about if I just like doodling? Ain't that a good enough reason to draw?
It is a pointless reason.
No, it's not.
Or maybe I want to do something pointless. All I'm saying is that I don't have the same shoulds you do.
Beauty does not necessarily have to hold deeper meaning, and acquiring that standard of it can end up just ruining your own enjoyment. Indeed, that is very wise.
Perhaps you should.
But I don't. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do.
Which is speak like a peasant.
Heck, that's what I am, Senora. Ain't nothing gonna change that reality. Let's get back to what you were saying.
But it seems I am just a dead woman. A walking corpse who is not worth listening to. I should walk into the sun.
I think this is more labeling than should, because that should is not like actual should.
Now why have you gotta go and call yourself names?
They are not names, they are my reality. I am a dead woman, and I am a corpse, am I not?
Is that all you are?
This is how I am defined by the world.
Seems to me you're the one using them names. Hell, I think I'd be a little afraid of calling you a corpse.
As you should be. Allow me to continue.
So do you have to be a cowboy? Yes, Sam must be a cowboy. There is no other choice.
You know, you make me sound rather mad. Like an old woman, railing at the world, screaming into the void, all to no purpose.
Look, Senora, all I'm trying to do is show you where you're a little rigid in your thinking is all. You're expecting a lot from the world and a lot from yourself. It ain't no surprise that you're gonna be disappointed over and over again.
I suppose that is some insight. Indeed, I have been in a state of disappointment from the moment I was 16.
Oh my. That's a long time to be in this state of disappointment.
But what happened when you were 16?
I got married.
Oh,
I think I get it.
You absolutely do not get it. You are a man.
Well then, help me understand.
Frankie, my husband. He taught me the meaning of disappointment.
reminds you of your grandmother. You must have some special grandmother.
He taught me the world was built upon lies. These things men proclaim as values. Truth, beauty, the spiritual. They were all fiction. But if men did not live according to principle, I would. I would set the example and shame them all. Yet, what a fool I have been to think humanity had greater aims.
So, what's this greater aim you're talking about?
I received a humanist education as a child. I was taught that the pathway to God was through rationality and a questioning mind, not slavish devotion to tradition. This world is not Eden, but it could be. Or so I thought.
So you're talking about a literal pathway to God?
No, fool. A pathway to godliness. To live according to our natures. Our true natures.
Yeah. It's a tough choice. Okay, let's go with that since you're shouting it.
Oh, you mean being Italian?
Madre de Dio, what are you talking about? What is an Italian? I care nothing of nations and their petty squabbles. Like mortals, they die and are forgotten.
Sam is definitely not qualified. He just came here and he chatted with Andromachos, and then he had his first client because Andromachos thought that, okay, maybe you are ready. He hasn't had any kind of education for this and he's practicing as he goes. But I guess it would be difficult to find a school for becoming a therapist as a vampire.
Oh, sorry. I just figured on account of the accent and all.
What accent?
Never mind. Well, talk to me about this pathway to God. How do you reckon we find this path?
I reckon nothing. I've always known that we can find our way back to God by fulfilling our human potential to be the greatest souls possible.
I don't know, what could this be? I kind of feel like this should be a should statement, but it's not. There's no should. But control fallacy. Have always known. I'm not sure. I'll try it.
You really think we've got that much control, Senora? All we gotta do is be perfect, and then we've got our pathway to the Almighty?
Yes, it seems quite clear to me.
Yeah, you were right.
Senora, if that's how it is, it ain't no wonder you ain't forgiving yourself or anyone for the slightest mistakes. I would ask myself if anyone really has that much control. But keep talking.
Yeah, that must be it.
I have always known we must master ourselves and our baser instincts. Virtue must triumph over vice.
Must. Mm. Is it still control fallacy? Well, let's see.
You've been around a while, Senora. In all that time, when have we mastered ourselves and our baser instincts?
Yeah, I also felt like it could be a should statement, but there was no should. And apparently control fallacy was correct according to this. Hmm.
Not a single day. Men especially have no bottom to their depravity.
All right, fair enough. So us fellas have disappointed you every day for a few hundred years, right? Ain't that proof that nothing you do is gonna change that?
Get the feeling that at some point we are going to run into a should statement that doesn't say the word should. That would make sense.
An evil thought, Mr. Samuels, but true, I concede.
We're in agreement then. It's a little bit of a control fallacy to think that's gonna change because of you. Let's keep going.
I have always known that the earthly lives we lead are disgusting, and only war and death can come of them.
Our earthly lives. Disqualifying the positive? Yeah, that's negative all around, but I think it requires. Yeah, if we guess wrong, the Andromachos appears to us, stops the time, and tells us to guess again. But I don't think this is disqualifying the positive because there is no positive mentioned at all. I would go more for the Nosferatu thinking, because this is like simplifying the cause and effect. Assumes it does not exist in the first place. Well, I'm going to say this because you tell that, but I feel like it should be Nosferatu thinking.
The world is very dark to our dear Signora, is it not, Samuel? I did not know my own life was so devoid of meaning.
It was wrong, says Andromachos.
I have always known that the earthly lives we lead are disgusting, and only war and death can come of them.
I don't know. He turns back time, so I guess there's no downsides, maybe?
Hold up just a sec there, cowboy.
It was
You
Nosferatu
really think
thinking.
all we can do is sow death and destruction?
I do not poke cows. Do I look like a farmer?
Come on, Senora. You've been alive to see what? 15, 20 billion people live and die? You really saying death and destruction is all each and every one of them ever amounted to?
Well, perhaps not individually, but as an immortal, I look at the greater arc of history.
Well, most of us ain't looking to contribute to the greater arc of history, but that don't mean life's pointless. That's some Nosferatu thinking, I'll tell you what. But let's continue.
There are often, there already have been some answers that I felt like it could be different than what is the correct answer. Yeah, there is no option to argue the points.
I have always known the people have become fat and lazy, and living within the Garden of Eden is impossible in such a state.
People have become fat and lazy, and living within the Garden of Eden is impossible in such a state. Labeling fat and lazy. That's... yeah, they are labels. But it's for people. I think labeling relates more to if you label yourself, not others. Should know. I would think it's more not Nosferatu thinking or control fallacy, but I don't know. It's not Nosferatu
Client
thinking.
is very good at coming up with names for others, isn't she?
It's
Perhaps
labeling.
you can call her out on this behavior.
So it's still labeling if you call others things.
I have always
I was
known that
wrong.
people have become fat and lazy.
Sounds to me like you're coming up with labels for kicking people out of the Garden of Eden. Is that all we amount to? Fat and lazy?
You were right, Imp.
Look around your own country, boy. Look at me. See my disgusting rolls and saggy features. Would you let me into the Garden of Eden?
Well, sure, why the heck not?
I am glad you are not the gatekeeper then.
You rather have a gatekeeper who wouldn't let you in? Listen, Senora, you gotta go easy on yourself with them labels. Well, let's keep talking, though.
I have always known we should act with dignity if we would take our place at God's side once more.
We should.
I think this here's the meat of it, Senora. The filet mignon.
What?
I fear your French is even worse than your Italian.
Here's the thing, Senora. Who came up with all them shoulds that'll take you to God?
Why, the greatest thinkers of history that I studied in my youth. Plato, Aristotle, Cicero, Aquinas.
Sounds like a bunch of dead guys to me. They really had it all figured out way back when, huh?
Well, of course not. How foolish do you think me?
Not at all, Senora. Just questioning where all them shoulds are coming from. But let's keep going.
So you think you are so very clever, do you, boy? That by pointing out my distortions, you have won?
As if this is a competition.
That is where you are truly the fool. I already know how wrong I have been, that I have been chasing an impossible fiction all my life. Indeed, I now believe that even if we did follow the pathway to God, once we reach the end, we would discover that he, too, was a work of fiction.
How could that be? Everyone always skips Plato's most important lesson. Classic Greek oil wrestling rocks. Wait, what?
When I say God, I mean goodness, propriety, intelligence. God himself is a lie.
I see. So you've lost your faith.
Yes, it has crumbled to dust, much like myself in this fat, wretched old body.
Plateau was a champion wrestler. Okay.
Beauty and truth are lies. Ideas developed by ugly men to justify their existence.
That's... what? Beauty and truth are lies. Ideas developed by ugly men to justify their existence. How does that justify their existence?
While we occupy ourselves chasing those ideals, they create space wars to leech our money and our vitality.
Ah, I see now.
And to think they call me judgmental while they created the false ideal to judge against. You don't think I'm judgmental, do you, boy?
I wouldn't put it that way exactly. Besides, I ain't gonna call you names. In fact, that's where I think I want to challenge you. Senora, I think the person you're judging more than anyone is yourself. I know you got raised with all them high ideals, so of course you're getting disappointed when nobody can reach them. That's some heavy pressure, not just on them, but on yourself. I'd ask yourself what all that pressure's doing for you. Is it bringing you any satisfaction? We can't always control what things are gonna be.
This is not acceptable.
I got some bad news for you, Senora. None of us really has the power to change the world on our own. Not even a clever lady like yourself. I suggest we start working on ways of helping you find a way to accept the world for what it is.
But the world is base and unworthy.
Unworthy of what?
Remember that term I told you about? Nosferatu thinking? You're gonna strip all the color out of the world if you keep doing that. The world's a lot more than just base and unworthy.
Nosferatu thinking. I am not used to having my own thoughts thrown back at me.
Well, but that's why you came to the therapy session.
Well, that's why you're here, ain't it? I ain't gonna help you change the world, Senora. All I can do is help you find some other perspectives.
I suppose there is a certain simpleton's wisdom in the way you speak.
Thanks, I guess.
Very well, boy. I will consider what you have said. We will meet again in exactly 4 weeks. Do we have an understanding?
I'm getting in his head.
Yes, indeed, Senora.
Ugh. Please learn to speak properly by then.
Yes, I am. And I won't learn to speak properly by then because I'm Sam.
Well done, Samuel. I believe you handled Signora Deste quite well.
That little swarm of bat was so good.
You kidding? That lady straight up hates my guts.
Samuel, if Isabella Deste hated your guts, she would not be shy about telling you so.
That I believe.
Older we get, the harder it is to gain a different perspective. Have patience. We are not all as wise as Samuel Walls.
Guess it's just that simpleton's wisdom, as the Senora called it.
Do not adopt her labels, Samuel. I will not stand for it.
No labeling for Samuel.
I know she was a challenge, but you rose to it as I knew you would.
You so like a star wipe transition. What star wipe transition? What's that? Like, form star shapes? I don't know. What is it? Tell me. Oh, okay. About turning into bats. I have had this one Harry Potter fanfiction idea in my head that involves some vampires, but like in Harry Potter world, the vampires should be kind of ridiculous. So maybe they can turn into swarms of bats and rats and whatever. I would start transforming by turning a small star shape in the center of my chest into bats. Okay.
I think you deserve a night of hard drinking. What do you say?
Point redeemed. That makes you say more about that fanfic. I see. Alright, I will tell you about the fanfic a bit. In Finnish. Jotenka siinä niin Harrylla olisi semmoinen vampyyrikaveri, joka niin olisi siellä linnassa, mutta niin siinä niin kanssa oli semmoinen pimeyden voimilta suojautumisen opettaja, joka on niin vampyyrien kaveri. Se oli sen Slughornin kaveri, joka toi sen Sanguinin sinne Tylypahkaan silloin kerran. Mutta no, siinä fanficissa olisi vaikka mitä muutakin. Okay, I think that was enough Finnish. I hope that was enough.
You don't need to tell me twice. All right, Andy. I'll see you later then.
Indeed, Samuel. Enjoy yourself. Excellent work tonight. Rest in peace.
How do I know that was real Finnish? Maybe you should learn some Finnish so you would know. You could have been making up gibberish. It wasn't. It wasn't gibberish. It was totally Finnish. Where else would I get this accent?
Dang, I think that's enough abuse for one night. I could use a drink and a quiet night.
Who knows Etsy? We got a new page thing. Session 1. Isabella Este thinks her life was meaningless because modern art is meaningless too. Apparently this Rise of the Spacewalker movie set her off. Extremely high-minded. Major issues with her former husband. Thinks most people are corrupt, especially menfolk. Used to be a devout Catholic, not so much anymore. Where did you get that? She never mentioned about being Catholic. Likes to be in control. Maybe a lot of control fallacies. Next time I'll dig into the family stuff. Seems like there's a lot of anger there. Lovely. Alright. Nothing about this day yet.
Hey, cowboy. Why the long face?
I used to say the same thing to my princess.
Your princess, Sam?
Your daughter.
I have not encountered lutefisk, so I have no feelings.
My horse, actually. She never really understood the joke, but I still like telling it to her.
You didn't answer my question, Gunslinger. What's got you down?
Oh, I just finished up with my second client. She gave me a tongue lashing to remember her by. You ever talk to someone who's so educated and refined that they make you feel like a space alien?
Feel like a space alien all the time. I feel like a space alien all the time. Yes, I am not secretly Norwegian. I haven't been to Norway at all, actually, even though it's right next to us.
Only everyone I ever met in law school. At least until I learned to speak their language.
You're a lawyer?
Was, and no, I wasn't the blood-sucking kind before you start with the vampire jokes. Just a wide-eyed DC do-gooder. But I get what you're talking about. People can use language like a membership card. You don't speak the lingo, you don't get in.
Well, that's just what I mean. I just ain't sure I've got the lingo for a 500-year-old high society Renaissance woman.
Could still be a Swede. Well, I must admit I have been to Sweden, but only a little bit, at the border. I have been meaning to visit Stockholm at some point, but I somehow never have gotten around to doing that.
Well, how do you think your session went? Think she heard you?
Danish. I'm not I'm not Danish. That's too far south.
Well, she did say that I'd given her some stuff to think about. And to tell the truth, she seemed kind of embarrassed about that.
So what? If she heard you, I'd take the W, cowboy.
Take the W. What, the wagon?
The win, Gramps. Maybe she isn't gonna relate to you, but that doesn't mean she can't hear you.
Oh, you're probably right. I guess I'll take the W. And while you're at it, I'll take some B too. That's blood, see?
That's some grandpa speech.
What are you in the mood for? Men? Women? Something a little more off the beaten path?
What would be off the beaten path?
I think I'll have some takeaway tonight. What have you got?
Takeaway.
Here, try this. Should put some color in those cheeks.
You really ain't squeamish, huh, Crimson?
Thank you for the luck, Imp.
Nah, healthy blood never hurt anyone. I've been hanging around vampires for 20 years, and they aren't so scary.
Not even Bert.
But was Bertie the Muscleman?
What, that old pointy-eared teddy bear? He's a total sweetheart, unless someone gets aggressive or touchy with the customers.
Yeah, the bouncer. I thought so too.
What does he do then?
They get a stern warning.
And if they don't listen?
Why, then he eats them.
Well, then he eats them.
Well, maybe he is a teddy bear. I met Teddy Roosevelt back in the night, and I'm pretty sure he would have done the same thing. Speaking of which, I gotta thirst something fierce. I think I'll head back to my coffin for a little rest. But you have a good night, Crimson.
You too, Sam. Don't let the Draculas bite.
Are there Draculas here? Not just regular vampires?
Time to crack open a warm one. That's the good stuff. Now, maybe I can find a quote from one of my favorite books that'll help give me a little inspiration.
That's the good stuff.
All I could watch the Three Stooges hit each other a whole bunch. Or I could just go to sleep. What's it gonna be, Sammy boy?
Time to crack open a boy with the cold ones. Indeed. Read some thorough.
My profession is to be always on the alert, to find God in nature, to know his lurking places.
Sam is going to be so civilized.
I always like that quote. I ain't a God-fearing kind, but it's true. There's a natural beauty behind the man-made world if you know where to look. Isabella d'Este's all culture and breeding, but underneath, she's got her vulnerable and beautiful humanity too. I just gotta remember that. All right, that's enough for one night. Time for some rest. I hope my next client will be a little easier.
Samuel, good evening. I am glad to see you looking so fresh and well slept.
He wrote in his diary. Had a doozy of a client tonight by the name of Isabella d'Este. Holy hell, that is one strong lady. I was shaking in my boots half the time talking to her. I read up on her on Wikipedia and was glad I hadn't done that before our session. I would have been even more scared. I'm surprised we could even have a conversation. She was the Pope Leo X's sister-in-law. How the heck do you deal with family like that? I have had a nice week otherwise. Been exploring the graveyards here in Leipzig. They are real fancy here. Guess it ain't no surprise this place has so many gods. So that's that. Stretch. Time. I almost fell off my chair. Better not fall completely. But no, I have stretched.
Uh-oh, something tells me I'm in for it tonight.
The truth is seldom unseen by you, my friend. Tonight, you face perhaps one of the most difficult challenges a therapist can face. The fact that you may not be able to help everyone.
Oh no. Can't help everyone. Well, my kind of deal, Sam or Andrew Nakas. What a difficult question.
In truth, I have failed to help clients with this particular disposition many times.
I think I like Nakos more. Maybe. He smiles like a kitty.
Hey, I'm new at this. You're nigh on 3,000 years old. If you can't help him, how can I?
It's not guaranteed that we can help every client. To think we are powerless to help any is a cognitive distortion itself. I believe you know it.
You agree? But Sam is really good too. Thanks for moderating that suspicious whatever.
Yeah, all right. Control fallacy, I know. I can help some folk.
That's right. Here, take a look at this case file.
Theater feller, huh? I've known a few of them in my time. They can be a little, self-absorbed.
Both names are getting desperate. Yeah, they are getting suspicious. Who is this? Edmund Keane. Age 237, male British. Edmund Keane was a highly influential Shakespearean stage actor during the Georgian period. He is credited with more personal interpretations of character as opposed to pantomime performances. He lived in a tumultuous life on stage, dealing with alcoholism, sex scandals, and entitled behavior. He wishes to return to the stage, but expresses great anger at critics who might review him poorly. He demands respect as the greatest actor the world has ever seen. That's clearly fucking Dracula from Castlevania. Oh no.
He's looking for therapy because people don't like him, it says?
You're looking for therapy because people don't like him.
He is one of the most revered actors in all of history.
So he might have a few cognitive distortions.
Might.
A few. He may not recognize them, Samuel, but all you can do is present reality to him.
That is such a kitty smile. It gets me every time.
He comes. Remember, I will give you
He
whatever
comes.
advice I can. Good luck, my friend.
Thank you for lurking. And not lurking.
I hope I'm up to this.
Is this vampire I see before me?
Those bats.
I'm Sam Walls. I'm your new therapist.
Your dress, your bearing, your hat. You also are forgotten by time. Oh, how fortuitous! A kindred spirit, perhaps. A therapist should know pain, I say. Most excellent.
He definitely doesn't look like he knows pain.
Tarnation. Can't get a break with this here hat of mine.
No, it's perfect. Do not change a single thing. It gives me faith. Faith, my dear vampire, that you can help me.
I'm gonna do everything I can. I promise you that, amigo.
Do not do so lightly. Darkness dwells within my damned soul. You journey into my pain at your peril, and I cannot be your Virgil.
You're who now? Anyway, you wrote in your intake form that you're here because... Mortals don't appreciate you, you said.
Indeed, and I fear they cannot. They must
They cannot.
die to appreciate life. As mortals, they cannot ask the immortal questions.
Well,
What is life for us who do not live? Why are we here?
why are we here?
continue? What do we do when death has no meaning?
That's way too happy expression to be saying those things.
And what a piece of work is vampire! How noble in stature, how infinite in life! In form and moving, how express and admirable! In action, how like a demon! In apprehension, how like a bat! Ah, the beauty of the night! And yet, to me, we are but the quintessence of dust.
Overindulge. Let's overindulge him.
Dust upon dust. Already that whence we came.
With this empty stare.
Well, that was a lot.
I got an achievement out of listening to all of that.
You understand, don't you? Death has no meaning, because life never had meaning. To die, perchance to live.
All right, that's enough of that. Before we answer the question of why we're all here, why are you here? Well, that is, what exactly drove you to me, partner?
Oh, that. Well, a pustule of a theatre historian I recently seduced and killed sprang the seeds of doubt in mine corpus.
Okay.
He was writing a biography of the great Edmund Kean, and I thought mayhap that I would favor him with a secret or two. He said my acting style would now be considered archaic.
How dare him!
Though I drank him to the last, I fear his cruel barb was sharper than my fangs. This embossed carbuncle of corrupted blood caused me, to doubt myself.
How horrible!
Are all men such fools? Will I ever find my audience again? Or did they die long, long ago?
Why is this guy also against men?
Help me purge these mortal concerns from my mind, dear man.
We're always gonna have doubts, compadre. That's normal. But I think I can help you see things a little differently. So, he said your acting's out of date. Why don't you just tell me why it bothered you so much?
Because it's simply not possible. Acting became a noble craft entirely because of me. In truth, I am perfect.
Entirely because of him. Is that control fallacy?
Hold on a sec there, partner. Acting became a noble craft because of you? That's a lot of control over a whole skill.
Yes, impressive, isn't it? So long as men can breathe or eyes can see, so lives mine art, and this gives life to thee.
Well, those are some pretty words. You make that up yourself?
It is the bard himself, boor.
Bought himself?
Well, maybe he had something to do with the development of your craft then. It ain't been just you.
Well, naturally. But Shakespeare's works are simply words upon a page without me.
Compadre, I think you know he gave you a leg up in your career. You can share in the success a little.
Oh, there are celebrated actors in these times, yes. But any success they have is due to my beating the path for them to follow.
Any success they have is due to be... Is this still control fallacy? Nope.
This is a special client. Remember that his distortions can be about others, not just himself.
Alright.
Oh, there are celebrated actors in these times, yes. But any success they have is due to my beating the path for them to follow.
And then, is it disqualifying the positive?
Well, wait a minute. You're saying that every actor's success comes straight from you?
Of course. Even the greatest among my art would have been consigned to obscurity had it not been for my advancements.
Every single one of them ain't had nothing of their own to give to the theater?
Well, I suppose one or two actors in the last 300 years have impressed me.
There have been some that have impressed him.
Well, don't you think they deserve their own success?
I suppose mortals are owed their 15 minutes of fame. One must have some pity for them. We are not monsters.
Are you not?
But the actors of modern times, they are shallow, beggarly parrots. Parrots who screech the lines, but do they know them? Do they feel as we feel?
Leveling?
So you're saying modern actors are parrots?
Indeed, they are only mimics, and thus no better than a well-trained bird.
You don't think they're actually birds, do you?
My dear boy, they live such short lives.
Like
What
birds.
else can they do but ape the words and actions of their forebears?
But when you call them birds, you're just labeling them that. You ain't giving them a fair shot.
Oh, come now. I was clearly employing a little dramatic license.
But we're here to talk about truth, all right, compadre?
It is my gentle direction that takes the craft to higher echelons, and mine alone. Acting does not evolve without me.
That's so control fallacy.
You're saying only you can change the course of acting?
It is demonstrably true. There is acting before Edmund Kean, and there is acting after Edmund Kean.
But there's so many types of acting out there. I mean, I remember when vaudeville came out, but I don't think you had anything to do with that.
Vaudeville? Oh, like so many American arts, an art of the grotesque. You plunge a dagger into the heart of subtlety.
So you didn't have nothing to do with vaudeville?
Oh, devils below, no.
I mean, you got a little control fallacy, hombre. Mortals got wills of their own.
Indeed. I suppose I don't want any responsibility for the things the Americans create anyway. These critics should honor me, as is my due.
You're saying critics should honor you. Well, what happens if they don't?
Then they are not doing their jobs properly. I do not ask for their laudations without cause. But if a so-called critic does not recognize my contributions to the theater, what do they know of the theater?
Maybe they just got different tastes.
Uneducated taste, perhaps.
If they are just uneducated, why should they appreciate you?
An interesting point. I suppose I cannot blame them. Thou fiend! You are cruel indeed to beat a man when he is at his most vulnerable.
He's most vulnerable. Yeah.
I am here so you may help me cope with a world that has gone mad, not so you might attack my every word.
I'm doing no such thing. All I'm doing is pointing out your reality. If we're gonna cope, we gotta be honest about the world.
And I say that you are a villain. I come to you in desperate need, and you respond by...
Desperate
mocking my
need.
desperation.
What desperate need?
Why would you do this to me? Do you not know what pain I am experiencing? Do you not know that I, as an actor, feel every sling and arrow more keenly?
Do you?
Art thou a therapist or a murderer that you would push me so to the brink? Do you want me to commit suicide?
I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to hurt you. I want to help everyone who comes to me.
Samuel, a moment, please.
Andy, I got a real problem here. I think I'm not cut out for this work. This fella's right. Why am I attacking him when I should be helping?
First of all, should statement. You will do what you will do, and that is all, Samuel. But look at the candles. What do you see?
Candles?
The candles? Oh, they seem fine to me.
Look at the flames.
There are flames.
Wait a minute. They're getting higher, ain't they? What the hell's going on?
Your client is very powerful. He has his own unique skills earned in the ages.
Scary.
His skill in gaslighting is so intense that it affects the world around him.
His skill in gaslighting is so powerful that the flames start to go higher.
He is altering reality to fit his distortions. Be watchful, Samuel. Do not let him.
Don't let him gaslight you, Sam.
How do I stop it?
Be persistent, and above all, be honest. He does not control your reality. I await your apology, sir.
Easy, boy, easy.
I shall not go easy. I shall not.
Ain't nobody gonna hurt you. There's a good vampire.
A good vampire? What on hell?
You're safe now. Ain't nobody here to hurt you or make you feel bad.
But I...
That worked.
I'm your buddy. That's us. We're just buddies, ain't we?
Buddies? Yes. A friend.
Buddies.
A friend. A friend who wishes to help me.
Yes. Easy boy.
You feeling better there, compadre?
I must confess that I am, though I scarcely understand how.
It was magic. Animal handling.
Hey, well, that's just great. I want this to be a comfortable place for you.
Yes. Yes, I do believe you. After all, your profession is in many ways similar to acting. It is no wonder that we find common ground.
But the flames are not so high anymore.
How is therapy like acting?
It is the exploration of the soul, is it not? A journey into pain and truth. We see those pains and truths and reflect them onto the cruel world.
I ain't sure I quite see it like that, but it's true that reflecting is important. Kind of funny when we can't look in a mirror, huh?
One of death's cruel ironies. Thus must we see our reflections in the mortal audience instead.
You care a lot about what the mortals think about you.
Of course I do. Why should I give a fig about what we dusty old folk think, eh? Most of us are stuck in our relative pasts, if you'll pardon the offense.
But all them folks die. You're what, 300 years old?
Don't remind me. Yes, they die, but I cannot. I must not. If I do not exist in their hearts, there is only the purgatory of oblivion.
Hey, is that Nosferatu thinking?
You cannot, you must not. You're talking like there's only one future.
For me there is only one future, save oblivion.
Come on now, that's a little extreme.
'Tis not so. What else have I but the stage?
Well, that's a fine question. I'll tell you what, though, compadre, you are more than the stage. What if theater just didn't exist?
Perish the thought. Perish it with all due enmity. Unlike some vampires, I am not some blood-guzzling parasite who will idly sit and wait as the world turns.
Is that labeling?
You calling most of our kind parasites?
Even Sam here?
I am, for that is what we are, if we are nothing else.
All right, let's just forget the part where you're insulting other vampires, myself included. If you say that you're a parasite if you don't do something, you're gonna be scared as hell of not doing that thing.
As an immortal, I aim for loftier goals.
Can you hit those goals if you're busy being afraid of turning into a parasite?
Ah, but your humble speech does belie the true wisdom beneath. I am indeed cruel to myself. I died for the stage, so I should live for it as well.
Shoot.
Well, why should you live for the stage?
What was my death worth if the stage does not matter?
But it's only you who's saying your death ain't worth something.
Yeah, nobody else cares.
Your shoulds are fatal. Ain't that a lot of pressure?
Perhaps. Though one might argue that all great actors must be forged in fire.
Forged in fire? What do you mean? And isn't fire dangerous to vampires?
But is acting really the most important thing in the world?
I shall assume that you jest. Vampire society is of no use to me. We are so few, and I cannot have an adoring crowd without a crowd.
Cannot. Is it about control? Or is it about Nosferatu thinking? No use. Ah, it's Nosferatu thinking. All or nothing. It's no use because you can't get a crowd of people.
Vampires ain't got nothing to offer you.
Nothing they can give, no. Vampires do not understand the avant-garde.
Vampires have a lot to give. We got time to understand things mortals just can't. I think you're painting vampire society with a pretty broad brush. We got some redeeming values.
Oh, perhaps. But an understanding of the stage is not one of them. You know, I see what you are doing. The motivations of man are well known to me through my art.
And what am I doing?
You are mocking me, undermining me, causing me to doubt myself. I know thy purpose, wretch. This therapy business is all a ruse. You would lay me low and claim dominion over me.
All I'm trying to do is help you, friend. Reality's a lot easier to deal with when you can accept it for what
The
it
flames
is.
are going higher again.
So, now you doubt my sanity. Is there no end to your japes and jabs? I shall not break. Oh, you shall see. The tides of cruel seas will crash upon me, but I do not wither. I know thy game, trickster. You wish to keep me in your debt. The more I doubt myself, the more you take from me.
So much gaslighting.
You think you are clever, but thy tongue outvenoms all the worms of the Nile. Well, what have you to say for yourself? Speak, that I might hear thy bile.
Can we tame him like a wild horse again?
Easy there.
What?
I know you're upset and you're scared. I ain't gonna hurt you.
But you want to hurt me.
Good vampire. Ain't you sweet? Yeah, it's all right.
Ain't you sweet? Yeah, it's alright.
You really don't want to hurt me. You'll keep me safe.
We're safe. Ain't no place safer than right here.
I wonder if that would really work on gaslighting.
We're friends. That's right. You're my buddy now. Just my pal Eddie.
In truth, I am oft left bereft of friendship. Our kind can be difficult.
You mean vampires?
No, actors. But to sense one is not alone in all the world is a feeling to be cherished.
You ain't alone, I promise you. Whatever bad stuff we're living, someone else has lived it already.
'Tis so. Many geniuses were unappreciated in their time, with wonders of their craft consigned to history's dusty pages. Even the bard himself did struggle. There is some comfort in that.
Common nocturnality. We all got the same needs, man. Blood, safety, and sex.
Indeed. I too am akin to the doomed Achilles, though my sore spot lies not so low, but twixt stem and stern.
What?
Tain't my place to comment.
Oh, it seems the spot is no secret to you after all.
Maybe we can talk about that some more in your next session. I think you did pretty dang well today.
Yes, I suppose I did. I am rather good at therapy, aren't I?
No, you're not.
If you're here and wanting to get better, yeah, I'd say that makes you pretty good at therapy.
Well, one mustn't rest on one's laurels, must one?
That's right, Eddie. Okay, I'll see you in a few weeks then.
Aye, we shall vanquish my demons together. I cannot tarry. The stage awaits.
Phew!
Dang, what the hell was that?
He just sweat with Andromache.
One of the darker malignancies of the mind, dear Samuel.
You sure I'm up to this?
You were masterful, Samuel. You were able to take your knowledge about cognitive distortions and turn their definitions outward. And we must speak about this equine ability of yours in your next session.
Oh, that. Yeah, I learned a lot about myself through my horse.
Like a real cowboy.
Save it for our next session. Rest, Samuel. You have faced a great danger. Now it is time to drink and be merry with the Goths.
With the goths.
Well, not sure I'd call them merry, but they know how to cut loose. All right, Andy, I'll see you later.
Good night, Samuel. Rest in peace.
Good night, Andy. Rest in peace.
Well, that was one of the weirdest experiences of my life.
Edmund is afraid to get back into acting because he's afraid of getting anything but universal praise. I feel that. That's totally how it was with making the application. Self-centered mindset. Believes he determines what acting must be. Diminishes the thoughts and opinions of others. Champion gaslighter. tried to convince me I was attacking him. Sees the world through theater. Next time, I'd like to dig in on where all this comes from. Why is this fella so insecure?
I probably want to forget that. I should go talk to Crimson.
No, you don't want to forget that.
If it isn't Sammy the Kid, plop that butt down. Got a shot prepared for you.
Well, thanks, Crimson. What is that? Bloody Mary?
No, a Bloody Steve. I think that's what he said his name was.
Bloody Steve.
Of course it is. How's the crowd tonight?
You know, it's funny. They're a little on the weird side tonight. Must be a full moon out.
Are there werewolves?
Oh, you ain't kidding. I just had my first therapy session with the strangest fella I ever met. The actor type. Used to be an international celebrity back when I was alive. Seems like fame's a nasty drug.
Like Andy says, people are people. Doesn't matter what era they're from. Feeling good about your session, though?
It went well.
He was pretty confrontational, but he was happy to talk about himself at least. Andy says the real clients to worry about are the ones who've got nothing to say.
I get that. Being a human isn't easy. You gotta be pretty damn privileged to have no problems at all.
Oh, this fella definitely has plenty of problems. I think he'll be keeping me busy.
Yeah, he will. With his Achilles spot and everything.
It's a big world out there, cowboy. Full of vampires with no self-awareness.
Well, ain't that the truth? Well, here's to change then.
To change.
You, drinking Andy's blood there?
Andy's? Nuh-uh, this is a plain old mortal drink. You think anyone would want to drink that man's blood from a bottle when they can get it straight from the source?
I suppose they wouldn't.
I'm not proud to drink blood, Sam. Wouldn't be doing it out here.
I didn't mean to cause offense, ma'am.
Not your fault. I guess I shouldn't be offended.
Who's telling you that you shouldn't be offended, Crimson? I know this blood drinking stuff is complicated.
Damn right it is. Look, I have customers to deal with, but let me give you some advice, Buffalo Bill. No therapy in here. What happens at Eminard happens with consent. Got it?
What? What's going to happen?
All right, that's fair, and my sincere apologies. It won't happen again.
That's right.
Oh, dang it. I've gone and made myself unwelcome. I better get out of Crimson's way.
You.
Panoptibella? What? These eyes. Is it one of them gods or is it a vampire? Probably a god. But looks so strange.
Huh? Do I know you?
I know you. I've been watching you, vampire.
Ooh, drink me. Let's play along.
Yep, that's me, drinking blood to live.
Yes, you do. I saw you. I see everything.
You have so many eyes.
My name is Panoptibella. It means I see all, and I am beautiful. I saw you in the kink room with Reinhardt and Rosie. And now I see that you are thirsty and would like to drink.
You're right.
Yep, that is so.
Come, drink from my neck. I wish to see what it is like.
Oh no!
I think that eyeball thing is freaking me out.
Did I fail?
Are you afraid of being seen, vampire?
I guess I caught the vein now.
Yes, I see now. That was very pleasant. Thank you. You will go to your coffin now to sleep.
Well, if you wanted a cuddle.
It is normal for vampires to enter a state of torpor after consuming the blood of another. I wish you an excellent torpor, vampire.
Thanks, I guess. I guess I better get some shut-eye. This night has gone on long enough.
Indeed. Shut-eye after that. Panoptibella.
Good evening, Samuel. I hope you are feeling well rested. I have
This-
a new client for you.
This new client will be the last for tonight. Just finished up with a new client and this guy was a lot. Fella nearly burned the saloon down with his gaslighting superpowers. He's an actor type, which I don't have a lot of experience with. I never really got into theater stuff, except for maybe vaudeville. Something about watching people tumbling and smacking each other with blunt objects. Just speaks to the soul. Oh, so I pissed off Crimson last night. Tried to do the whole therapy thing on her without her permission. And she was hopping mad. I gotta remind myself that just because I'm learning to become a therapist, that doesn't make me everyone's therapist.
Another one? I think my caseload's starting to get a little crowded.
Worry not, my friend. I shall not unload all the world's cares onto you. I know how strongly this next client requires aid. She is a great deal older than most of the clients you've seen, and sometimes it is harder for the elderly to see reality.
How old is she?
It took me far too long to do so.
She as old as you are?
Not nearly. Thus, she should be more ready for change than I was. Take a look at her intake form.
She's pretty old. What's her name? Origin. Bronze Age. Age. 1804. An elder vampire like myself, Medi has lived mostly alone for the past 2 millennia. She grew up among wanton violence between Irish clan warlords and has since kept distance between herself and mortals. She now spends more of her time online, where she has become a streaming celebrity. I do not know what this means, but perhaps a younger vampire might. She has expressed frustration at the increasing demands of her followers. Suggestion: be patient with the elderly. Oh my. A streamer? How can this be?
Dang, she died young. Makes me wonder why I waited so long to kick the bucket. Could have left her nicer looking corpse.
Alas, death does not often allow us to have much choice in the matter.
Says here she doesn't leave home unless she has to.
Indeed, it is a puzzle, as elder vampires can often be.
I sure do hope I can help her.
You will do your best, I know. Let me allow you some privacy. She comes.
She comes.
Hello?
Hello, Medi.
Hey there, how do I say your name? Is it, Medbub? Medb?
Mev is my real name. Medby's just my screen name. You can call me Medi if you like.
Medi is easy.
Oh, mighty fine meeting you, Meddy. I'm Sam.
Is that all you are?
Is that all I am? Yes, I'm only Sam.
I couldn't rightly say. I ain't no more or less than Sam.
You're a cute, strange cowboy man.
I don't know that you should be calling your potential therapist cute, miss.
Not in a touching bodies way. I mean, you're more like a rabbit or a mouse.
A rabbit or a mouse? Do you eat them?
Oh, I want to dress you up in a little mouse onesie and watch you scurry about.
Me too, Maddie. Me too.
You can keep your hat on and be a little cowboy mouse. Oh, I like that very much.
Me too.
I'd keep you in a little cage and give you lots of cheese and, of course, a wheel to run on. You can be my whiskery little pet.
What is the matter, Samuel?
I think I'm out of my depth here, Chief. I ain't keen to be anyone's pet.
You don't have to be.
Older vampires such as myself can sometimes be uncomfortable to be around. I believe this will be an excellent challenge in setting boundaries, Samuel. Explain to her your boundaries. You will be modeling positive behavior and saving yourself a little trouble.
Yeah, just a little.
All the more reason to be clear and polite right now. Good luck, Samuel. I know you can do it.
You can do it, Samuel.
You look distracted, little mouse. Have you smelt a bit of cheese? Did your whiskers twitch?
All right, miss, before we keep going, I think we need to set a few boundaries.
I don't wanna live in a cage.
This stuff about putting me in a cage and making me your pet are things you should be doing with a blood partner. Besides, I make the rules about my own body. If I don't want something, you gotta respect it or find a new therapist.
You don't want me to do things to your body?
What a hard question.
You cut that out. I'm serious now.
Very well. Be that way.
I don't eat cheese, you know that. We only drink blood anyway. Mortal food doesn't exactly agree with us.
But a mouse who doesn't eat cheese is hardly a mouse.
But I'm not a mouse.
Then why do you have twitchy whiskers?
I just like the way they look.
So do I. That's why I think you should eat some cheese.
Well, I ain't gonna. Take it or leave it.
You're very mean for a mouse.
So mean.
I think that about covers it.
Very well. It's a little boring. People usually let me do what I want to do to them.
Well, this is less boring then. It's something new.
I suppose you're right. It's very clever, strange cowboy man. May I still call you a mouse from time to time, though?
If it'll make you feel comfortable, I guess it ain't hurting me. But let's get to you and why you're here. Now, it said on your intake form that...
What the heck did it say? Frustration at increasing demands of her followers. She's overworked.
You're overworked, it said. You're not my first client with that problem. What line of work you in?
She's a streamer.
I play video games.
Video games? Like Star Invaders?
No, silly. More like Overcharged 2 and Pension Impact. More of an FPS and RPG girl.
Overcharged to pension impact.
I don't know what them things are. I kind of figured video games were just a fad, like collecting ferns was in my time.
Video games are lots of fun. There's even one where you get to play a cowboy and kill bunches and bunches of people.
So fun for Sam.
Then you get to pretend you feel bad about it. But after that, you kill even more people.
Shucks, that there might give me some flashbacks. But you're working by playing video games? How's that?
I stream on Glitch.
Glitch.
Millions of followers there.
Wait just a gosh darn minute. People are paying to watch you pee?
Of course not. That sort of thing would be on my Only Zealots page. If I could pee. Which I can't, because I'm a vampire.
Only zealots.
Alright, you gotta walk me through this.
What's streaming mean if it ain't paying?
What's streaming mean if it ain't paying?
Streaming means to share your computer screen to the internet.
Like watching the cinema, only instead of people shooting each other, it's you answering emails.
Sort of. Mostly people just like to watch people shooting other people. Only it's little computer people that only look like people.
Clear as mud. I got some more questions about them funny things you mentioned, though.
What's only zealots?
What's only zealots?
That's a very special website. And my very special followers get to see me do naughty things for money.
You've been around a long while. Do you need money?
Indeed. An excellent question.
No, of course not. But I do like having mortal blood bags who will do anything for me. They're very useful.
This whole thing makes me feel old.
But you're only a baby vampire, strange cowboy man. I'm glad you're not the kind of baby who poops and pees. That's quite icky.
I had some more questions.
What's all this FPS and RPG stuff?
What's all this RPG and FPS stuff?
Role-playing games and first-person shooters.
Kinda dark to be playing games about the first person you ever shot. That ain't a good moment.
You're extra silly. It's a video game with a first-person perspective. It only looks as though you're shooting someone. I like the ones where there's lots and lots of blood. I end up feeling quite hungry.
Are they still using corn syrup to look like blood? It never looked realistic to me.
They don't use corn syrup in video games. You're very funny.
I'm glad I'm funny, I guess. Let me ask you something else about these video games. Alright, I think I understand a little better. You're working pretty dang hard for all them followers. What do you need them for?
Lots of things. They pay my rent for me, they buy clothes and gifts for me, they dispose of all the bodies. And they let me kill them too. They're all so eager to die. Poor little lambs.
You're also eager to die.
They're like servants?
Servants, little sheep, whatever you'd like to call them.
And they're willing to just up and die for you.
Oh, naturally. Sometimes all I have to do is smile for them. They find it enchanting. And they quite like my breasts and vulva.
Oh, I see.
Does it make you uncomfortable to hear me say breasts and vulva?
Breasts and vulva.
I reckon I just wasn't expecting that level of candidness.
Breasts, vulva.
Hey, come on now.
Oh, but it's so much fun to watch your little whiskers twitch.
So, these followers of yours do a lot of work for you, huh?
But I have almost 100 million little sheep. It's rather difficult to manage them all and keep them happy.
Why do you need to keep so many servants happy?
I need my sheep. If I don't have them, I'll have nothing.
If you don't have them, you'll have nothing. That's Nosferatu thing.
Is it really true that if you don't have your followers, you won't have anything? Ain't you got other stuff you're interested in?
Like the video games.
Suppose I enjoy reading. And video games. And I can do those things alone. There's also playing games with my body.
Oh, yep, there's that.
Which Americans don't do. You like to shoot people instead. Bang, pow,
That ain't always true. But let's get back to what you were saying.
If I don't make them all happy, they'll turn against me.
Why is there a red glow? If you don't make them all happy, they'll turn against you. Them all. That seems like all for or nothing thinking. It also has some control issues.
That's some pretty extreme thinking. Your followers can't all be that fickle. The idea that you can make everyone happy is something that ain't in anyone's power. And assuming you have no control and they'll all turn against you ain't true either.
That is true, I suppose. I can do things you couldn't dream of. But I won't show them to you because you're an American.
Don't show them to you because you're an American. How cruel.
That is much appreciated, miss. And now about the stuff you were saying.
All I'll be is the lonely, crazy girl with a flat full of stinky corpses.
Let's ease off them labeling terms. Don't go calling yourself crazy.
But I am crazy. And I know how strange I sound to these short-lived creatures.
I reckon I might sound the same if I were around as long as you and seen some of the stuff you've seen. Besides, crazy ain't got any kind of real meaning. What's sane? You've been around a while, you know them definitions change all the time.
I suppose that's true. Don't think any of us are really sane.
I think that's a heck of a lot closer to the truth.
I just want to look at my body parts anyway. Don't have much else to share, it seems.
Don't have much else to share. That's kind of disqualifying the positive. They do want to do this. As if there's nothing else. But is it that?
Come on now, you've been around for nearly 2,000 years. How in the
It
heck
is.
could you have nothing to offer? I'm sure you could tell me all sorts of things about history and the places you've been to and the things you've done.
If I talk about things I like, my followers abandon me. Fickle little bloodbags. They always like it when I show off, though.
That's a problem with your followers, not you. Don't go disqualifying the positive things about yourself just because they don't see them.
You're very kind, Manling. If you were one of my followers, I might even let you live.
Mandling.
A very kind gesture, miss.
I can't help but think, though, I should make my little sheep happy. After all, they are willing to die for me.
You say you should keep your followers happy. Do you like it when they're happy?
Just because I kill my bloodbags doesn't mean I wish to be cruel. After all, they're so cute when they die with smiles on their precious little faces.
How cute.
I'm glad to hear that, but here's the thing. When you say you should make them happy, you turn it into a responsibility. If you got 100 million people you should please, that's pressure you don't need. Get what I'm saying?
You are too sweet, little mouse. Like a sugar mouse. Someone might try to eat you.
Heck, they already did. How do you think I turned into a vampire?
You make me seem very silly for worrying so much about my blood bags. I'm not a very good vampire, am I?
Well, what's a good vampire supposed to do?
My blood father used to tell me that we were supposed to be gods. Told me that we would rule all humanity. I imagine he'd be ever so disappointed in me.
Who cares what he thinks?
Well, blood parents are always complicated.
Blood parents.
Continuing their legacies, but people ain't too good at being anything but themselves.
I wish someone would tell him that. He's a very bad listener.
Well, you should be proud of yourself for getting away from him. I know it ain't easy.
I didn't leave him. The druids sealed him away long ago. Slaughter us all when he escapes. And there will be nothing we can do. Oh, it's gonna be ever so much blood.
I think we can handle a vampire. There's a lot more of us now, and I bet the bastard ain't even heard of a gun.
You don't understand. He's a wizard.
A wizard vampire.
The last I heard, wizards ain't bulletproof. Let's give ourselves a little credit. I ain't gonna worry too much about this fella. Besides, if he is coming back to kill us all, we only got so much time to enjoy, right? These dang followers of yours have got you stuck at home, though.
It's better this way. It's not safe outside.
Well, why do you say that?
Because there are bad people out there. They've tried to burn me, touch me, enslave me. They are cruel and horrible.
Those cruel and horrible people outside. Because some did that. everyone is like that. Isn't that Nosferatu thinking? But there's also this cruel and horrible, which is like labeling. Let's go with Nosferatu thinking.
I know you've been through some tough times, Mitty, and you got a hell of a lot of reasons to think people are all awful. But those experiences ain't the be-all and end-all. There's a lot of bad, a lot of good, and even more in between.
Maybe. But it's safer to assume that it's all bad. Mortals are very afraid, and when mortals are afraid, they are quite cruel.
That's more of that all-or-nothing thinking. There's billions of people out there now, and more differences between each and every one of them than you'd expect.
But I don't need to endanger myself anymore. I have my sheep.
She has her sheep.
I'm sure we'll get to talking about them real soon.
I can talk about them now. They help me stay in my flat. If I stay in one place, I have power. Instead of them burning me, I can burn them. And touch them and enslave them.
I have power. Instead of them burning me, I can burn them. Touch them and enslave them. Is this control fallacy?
With all due respect, miss, you're playing with sunshine here. Life is always going to
Playing
change.
with
That's the one
sunshine.
thing we can be sure of.
You're playing with sunshine.
Your retreating from society is only going to make it harder to face the changes ahead.
Such as when the machines arrived.
What machines?
What machines are you talking about?
The ones in the factories. The ones who made me leave the bog. Did not like that very much. Not at all.
But no, she likes the machines.
Oh, look, I didn't want to upset you. You're here to handle the world a little better, and that means being honest about what might happen. That makes sense?
Yes. Machines keep getting stronger. I should be ready for them.
All right. Well, let's keep talking.
They used to call me Calich Namona, the Witch of the Bogs. I like it that way. I like it when they think I'm a monster.
Is that labeling?
Hold on a sec, Mitty. I get that there's safety in people thinking you're some kind of monster. But what I can't abide is you calling yourself one. Names have power. You know what they used to call me?
Fuzzy McWhiskers. Scaly Tail Sam. Ooh, Scurrying Sam.
Fuzzy McWhiskers.
They called me Slaughterin' Sam. And as you might imagine, I didn't earn many friends with that name.
That's not very cute at all.
Yeah, it isn't.
No, it ain't.
Unless
I didn't
he's a
feel
cat.
cute neither. I felt like an evil bastard. And that ain't a good feeling.
I didn't say I liked being a monster. It just makes me feel safe.
Then let's find a way to help you feel safe without calling yourself a monster then, huh? But keep going.
If I want to be safe, I should show them what a monster I really am from the safety of my lair.
Should.
Well, why should you show them what a monster you are?
So that they'll know to stay away, of course.
And is that the only way people will stay away?
It's the way I know. I used to put severed heads outside my cottage, but the policemen don't like that very much.
So what if I said you should protect yourself by putting severed heads outside your place again?
I'd say you should learn otherwise. The police can be very mean.
That's what I mean. Should doesn't allow a lot of wiggle room. It might seem like it's just words, but them words can lock us up tighter in a bank vault. But let's keep talking.
Living alone is the life I know, anyway. Well, I've known for millennia. I can't survive in society now.
Can't survive in society now.
I know you've been through some tough times, but there's some stuff you're saying that just doesn't square with reality. Let's go over what you just said.
Because there are bad people out there. They've tried to burn me, touch. If I stay in one place, I have power. Instead of them burning me, they used to call me Calich Namona, the Witch of the Bogs. If I want to be safe, I should show them what a monster living alone is the life I know, anyway. Well, I've known for millennia. I can't survive in society now.
It's all. Like all. Can't survive society now. Is that all or nothing thinking? Or a control fallacy? Maybe closer to all or nothing? I don't know.
We ancient vampires are very few. I can tell you with some certainty that your client is very good at hiding her true capabilities, perhaps even from herself.
So, a control fallacy.
Living alone is the life I know, anyway. Well, I've known.
We ancient vampires are
It
very
wasn't.
I can tell you with some certainty that your client is very good at hiding her true capabilities, perhaps even from herself.
Living alone is the life I know, anyway. Well, I've known for millennia. I can't survive in society.
Then is it disqualifying the positive?
You know, you're what, some 1,800 years old? You're older than any government on Earth. You've seen the world change in ways none of us could dream of. Hell, you basically won the internet, and I can barely open up my Vmail program. You're way more capable than you're giving yourself credit for.
I suppose that's true. But I'm not very good with real life people. Unless I'm eating them.
Delicious people.
You're still disqualifying the positive by canceling out all them skills you got.
Like eating the real life people.
You can use all that modern lingo I've barely even heard of. You dab fam?
That was ages ago.
See what I'm saying?
You are very clever, sweetling. It is easy to forget how small and weak mortals are. The world is a big place full of things that might try to hurt me.
Well, before you face the world, why don't we start with your neighborhood? Let's start slow. Take a walk around your block, 15 minutes a day. Just spend a little time outside looking at the moon.
I suppose if
Touch
anyone
some
tries
grass.
to hurt me, I should be able to kill them or enslave them.
Indeed. Go touch some grass.
Very well, strange cowboy man. If anyone does kill me, I'll simply become a ghost. Then I can whisk myself up your bottom with a little ghost needle and poke at your guts.
What an interesting interesting mental image that brings.
I don't think it'll come to that. Just spend some time outside and see how you feel, and we'll talk again in a month. Sound good?
Very well. I suppose my followers outside must be eager to carry my coffin home. Promised I would eat them when we got there, so shouldn't keep them waiting. Farewell then, little mouse.
Hoo-wee!
That was some scary lady.
Well done, my friend. You seem a little out of sorts. Are you quite all right?
She was something else.
She was.
Like so many of our kind, she simply struggles to adjust to a constantly changing world.
She doesn't seem to struggle as much as most.
I think you will be of great help to her. She clearly likes you.
That's what I'm afraid of.
You are under my protection while you are here, Samuel. I guarantee no ghosts will travel up your posterior.
That's great.
You have done excellent work tonight. Please, relax downstairs. Summer will be here before we know it, and the nights shall become short once again.
Oh no.
Rest in peace, my friend.
Rest in peace, Sam. And Andy.
Tarnation. I'm glad the kids here aren't glued to their little TVs.
So... Medi is feeling overwhelmed by her followers on social media and their demands. She relies on them for food and help dealing with models. Talks about models as if they are all the same. Spends a lot of time online. Creates strong one-way attachments with her followers. Needs to get outside. Bad at boundaries. I think next time I should figure out why she's got such a simple view of models. Maybe she'd be better off if she didn't see them as ants. And now that we have dealt with the customer. It is time to end this stream. So sad. But, well, I still haven't finished Baldur's Gate, so the next time I stream is most likely on Monday. But we'll see. And Monday is Mass Effect time again. So, and I will be back to therapy Thursdays on next Thursday. So that's how it is. And yeah, thank you for joining me again today. Let's see if we have rating options. Oh, there is Fox, there's Seraphina, there's Imp, there's Asphyxia. Damn, it's been a while since I've raided. Many others. I'm going to raid Imp because it's Thursday. And he's doing art again. I want to support that. So, let's go there.